Today we're going to review comparing decimals. When we compare decimals, we always need to start from the numbers before the decimal and move from those to the numbers after the decimal. So, for example, in this first one we're looking at 1 compared to 1, so that doesn't help us, so we need to move on. The second digit is 5 compared to 6, so 5/10 compared to 6/10. So we could say that this one is the larger one. But also what we could do to make it a little bit easier is we can add zeros to the end to make them into equivalent decimals so they're easier to compare. So instead of looking at 1.56, we now compare that to 1.6, add the 0, 50 compared to 60. We can now very easily see that this is the larger decimal. Take a moment now and try these ones. Press pause, and when you have finished them, press play and you can see the answers. All right, let's take a look at the first one. 1.31 compared to 1.30. Here we're lucky. It's 1 and 1. 31 compared to 30. We can see that 31 is larger. And remember, it always eats the larger number. Next, we have 0.01 and 1.1. Well, these ones aren't as hard to compare because we can start looking at the very first digit in both of them and see that this one is already a bigger number. So we've got like this, and we've got like this. Next, we have 0.008 compared to 0.009. Here we look at the zeros, the next two zeros. Finally, we're looking at the 8 and the 9. Well, we can tell that 9 is larger, so this one is larger. Now continuing with the second row, here we have 1.32 and 1.42. Those first two numbers are the same, and then we can look at 32 compared to 42. Well, 42 is larger. Here we have 1.3 and 1.03. Now this one is a two-digit number, so I'm going to add a digit. And remember, when you can add, you only add zeros. That's the only thing you can add. And now I can more easily compare. I have 1, which is the same, and then 30 compared to 3. Well, 30 is definitely larger, so that makes this decimal the larger of the two. 0.66 compared to 0.67. Here we can just compare 66 to 67. 67 is the larger of the two. All right, now go on and do your exit slip or your review of this concept to see how you do, and remember to hand it in when you're finished.